It all started when my mom met my dad. Then they fell in love and had me. Hi, my name is Naya, and my life is kind of crazy. I moved around a lot as a kid. This means I went to a lot of different daycares and preschools. Every day, 5 days a week, I would get up and go to whichever daycare I was going to at the time. All the places I went to were pretty normal, and I always made friends. Then one day, when I lived in my third house, I went to a daycare right next to a church. I loved this daycare at first because me and my best friend both went there. Her name was Allison. Allison and I loved pretending we were dogs and cats. But one day, while me and my friend were playing puppies in the reading corner, one of the preschool teachers yelled at us. We were very confused. In the end, it turns out it was a very Catholic preschool, but my parents had no idea when they signed me up. The next day when we went to preschool, the couch was even gone. This event sounds insignificant, but it made me realize that people have different rules and ways you are supposed to act. It never occurred to my little brain that some people don't like playing. I went to a different preschool after that, though. It changed my view on society. This is because people want you to act different than some people. 1 year later, my mom announced that I would have a little sister. So you can imagine, at preschool the next day, I told everyone. When my sister came, my parents named her Paige. Having a sister changed a lot for me. I had to share a room with someone, I had to share my parents, I had to share everything. But getting a sister made me a nicer person. It made me value family more. It also made me value my independence. Because I had a younger sister, I had to do a lot of things alone without my parents. Then I started French immersion in kindergarten. It wasn't very weird for me to go to school, since I'd been to preschool and daycare so much. I started learning not only the language, but I started to learn the Quebecois culture. This expanded my view on geography, because I thought that if you lived in the same country as someone, you would believe the same things and speak the same language. But, for example, in Canada, in Quebec, people speak French. But in other parts of Canada, most people don't even know how to speak French. In my school, we learned a lot about the First Nations and their culture as well. I learned lots of songs, stories, dances. I learned about things that people do that don't really make sense. This expanded my worldview on knowledge because it showed me that people can learn different things in school. For example, if you did not live somewhere that's heavily influenced by the First Nation people, you would not learn this stuff in school. It also expanded my view on geography because it made me realize that even in Vancouver, people can believe in different things within the city. Then, when I was in grade 2, we moved to Deep Cove. At first, this didn't change my worldview, but now that I'm older, I realize how lucky I am to live here. This made me look at economy in a different way, because I have a smaller house, and I used to wish my family could live in a bigger house. But living in a bigger house would mean that I would have to move somewhere like Chilliwack, or somewhere where the houses are cheaper, because we wouldn't be able to afford it otherwise. It also made me realize that people who have fancy cars or big houses may not mean that they have more money than us. It just means that they spend it in different ways. When I was in grade 5, my family traveled to Mexico. Going to Mexico changed my perspective on economy a lot as well. This is because some of the people had little to no money, yet they could be so happy. It was crazy for me to think that people could be happy just by living in forests they built themselves and having kids. In grade 5, I also went to Costa Rica. Going to Costa Rica changed my perspective of time a lot. This is because in Costa Rica and places around the equator, the sun rises around 6 a.m. every morning, and it would set around 5:30. People who live near the equator don't need to worry about changing their clocks throughout the year or waking up at a different time. In Costa Rica, they only have 2 seasons, the wet season and the dry season. They have no winter, no summer or spring. It's just either raining a lot or always sunny. Those are the things in my life that have changed my worldview in big ways. The funny part was I didn't even know what worldview meant until now.